Welcome everyone to our Tuesday night Zoom. It is so good to see your faces. As always, it feels like we are family and we get together on Tuesday nights. Brenda Vasquez, great to see your face. She hopped on Friday Cubicle last week. I think it was last week at the tail end. And so it's great to see you on Tuesday night Zoom. Martha, good to see you. Thank you for getting on. Lisa Godfrey and Becker and Carrie. It's great to see you guys. Thank you. I am really excited about tonight. Oh, look who's here, sitting next to me on the couch, all the way from Utah. Hi. Our upline Andrea. All the way from Utah.
Visitors.
Yes. And on top of it all, we have a phenomenal, most amazing, super talented, unbelievable.
Don't overhype it.
Crazy good.
I had like a few hours of notice.
I know. It's how I operate. Very spontaneous. However, I pay grandly in return. So Christina Steinbrook is on with us tonight, and I'm not going to take any more time. I'm going to turn it over to her. And then if there's anything left to be said, we will do it at the end. Okay, Christina, take it away.
While you were talking about the Procreate stuff and the iPad stuff, if I was the kind of person who could talk and use my hands without using my hands like this at the same time, you know how you can like screen share an iPad on Zoom? Like, it'd be really funny if I just did like a project start to finish while training on a topic that's like unrelated to the project I'm drawing. But my brain doesn't work that way. But it would be really fun because maybe people would show up just to watch, but they'd listen too, right? Like subliminal training.
Yeah, but you know what you could do? Oh, I guess you couldn't do it live, but you could record yourself doing the Procreate project, then voice over it.
Yeah, and voice over like the things I want them to actually hear, right?
Yes.
That'd be hilarious. Cool.
Very fascinating.
Cool. So but are you the first pancake? For what? I get the reference.
You said it when we at camp last year, and it stuck with me the whole year. I thought it was a riot.
Yeah. I love that reference though.
Well, you have to tell everybody what the reference is, and you have to introduce yourself.
Well, hi. Okay, first of all, first pancake. It's like in the most authentic reference, it's like, you know how when you make pancakes, the first one is always garbage, and so you throw it out. Like, you always burn the first one. Why? I don't know, but you always do. Like, the first pancake you make is always bad, and the next one's fine. Well, they always say like your rebound after like a relationship, the first one's always garbage. The third, so you throw it out, and then the next one's probably okay. And I don't remember what we referenced it to though, Sarah, at camp, but like somehow
it was the first breakout session, and it was the
my first breakout was my first pancake. So the second one was going to go well, right? So you guys are my first pancake.
It was the last morning, and you were like, y'all, for real. Pop it.
You're my first pancake.
Exactly.
It's probably true. My directors were kind of my first pancake for this. Anyway, hi, I'm Christina Steinbrook. I don't really have a fancy introduction. I'm just me.
When did you join?
2011. November. I live in Indiana, right in the middle of it, crossroads of America. And that was my pitch for my state, I guess. If you want to find a lot of interstates, there they are. I can get anywhere.
By way of Indiana?
You can. I always tell people I'm like 5 hours away from anything, just name it. Because you can get on an interstate, like 4 or 5 major ones within like 15 minutes, no matter where you're at. So it's pretty cool. That's not what I'm here to talk about though, but now you're going to be thinking about Indiana and their interstates for no reason in relation to PRV. So you're welcome. I feel like I told Melissa I was going to talk about one thing, and I'm probably going to talk about that for a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about something completely different because that's what I do when I train. So hi, welcome to how I do my thing. I just go on tangents because I love Scentsy so much that it's hard to shut me up. So welcome to my brain. First of all, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about where my like heart and mind and just like spirit is right now in my business. I just kind of realized that I think that like everybody's businesses have been really heavy lately. Like it's really funny because like you watch Scentsy going, we're growing, we're growing, we're growing. We're like, this should be really exciting. But all we're realizing is that we're sitting here and the growth is piling on us. It's not really like we're riding the growth like a wave. We're holding the growth and it feels heavy, right? Where we should be riding it like a wave, but most of us are holding the growth like it's heavy. And so I really like was looking back at my year kind of going, number one, I don't feel like I actually experienced my year. I existed through my year. And I felt a lot of tensions on my team that were stemming from things that made no sense to me as somebody that doesn't do feelings much, except for when I do. And then also just like, it's like I do feelings, but I'm really good at kind of breaking things back down to where they should be. And so I felt like as we were looking at our year in review, I realized that while we were definitely doing something right because things were growing, what wasn't growing was like our community and connection within our team, our Scentsy spirit, 0%, our joy in what we did, our customer bases really somehow, like maybe people were spending more, but like it was kind of just the same old people. And maybe we had gotten a few more people, but we'd been kind of flipping them too. And I think that even with the growth, a lot of us were still kind of actually in the same place as we were before, but with higher volume. And so just kind of exploring like, what's the next step? Like, I'm sorry, I'm on a medicine that makes my mouth really dry. So if I keep like wiping my face like this, it's because my lips are really sticky and gross with like spit. Sorry. Also, if you don't know me, I'm just going to say the first thing that comes out of my mouth. I'm sorry. I'm gross. So I just kind of explored like why does my business feel heavy when it shouldn't feel like I want to have fun, right? And this should be fun. And I felt like my leaders were taking everything personally when things were not personal, like very unpersonal experiences and issues in their teams or businesses were just so deeply personal to them. And I know that honestly, it was just so much going on in the world and a lot of things seen through the lens of the world where the whole world's taking everything personally. So it makes sense that we're kind of carrying that with us into our own businesses and into our own team relations and into this other special place that we have. And a lot of that's kind of pouring into that. And so it's like, how do we shift our lens back to Scentsy being our happy place and stop letting this bleed over in that way? And so I kind of hit a wall last year. I'm bipolar too. I don't know if anybody knows that. And I've been kind of running away from the label of that diagnosis. I was diagnosed with bipolar at 17. And I basically told them that that's not true. There's no way it's true because my mom and my brother were, and I wasn't anything like them. And I refused to ever be anything like them. And so I've run away from that my whole life. And this year I finally started like letting myself realize that it was true. Hence the reason that I'll spend like 5 days up all night coding a website and playing on Procreate and teaching myself to make gifts for no reason. Like I kind of like binge work and then I go into like a deep depression. But for some reason this year I couldn't shake it. And I was kind of like feeling just that weight was really, really hard to shake. But then I would like have these super like hypermania style, like binge work energy spurts that made no sense and would come out of nowhere, followed by these just super deep, unbalanced, like just numbness. And so through all of that, I realized that it was being triggered more often by something. And I had been really in control of this for a lot of years of my life because I don't have it very bad. And the reason I've been able to run from it for so long was because I had found things in my life that brought me a lot of balance and joy and a lot of just kind of safety as far as just things I could focus on. But I know my triggers really well, and I didn't realize that I was letting things get so out of balance. And over the last year, I felt like while I was trying to keep everyone happy because of what 2020 was doing to them, and I was trying to kind of, I felt like I was trying to keep everyone happy and I was trying to resolve conflict all of the time. It was just kind of, I was neglecting myself a lot and didn't realize it. And at the beginning of 2020, my group actually merged all into one. And I thought it was going to be the answer to everything because we were already kind of all together already. But in the merge, I feel like, so I'm the kind of person that in a group project, I will either let you delegate completely to me and I will take no initiative, or I will literally do 100% of everything. There is no in between. I'm not very good at going a little bit of halfway. And so what looked like we are all pitching in, doing a really good job working together, by the middle of the year was me going, all of these pieces fell, so I'm doing all of it. And so what was supposed to be a really healthy balance turned into a really unhealthy imbalance where people felt overshadowed, or they felt like they were losing control of the connection with their teams. I realized at the end of the year that I had, I started in March with 1,000 people in my group, and we ended the year with 2,700 people in my group, and none of them knew who their upline superstar director was. And they didn't even know who I was, which was weird because I like posted in the group all the time, but they didn't know who I was. And so something was missing. There was a connection, a community thing that was missing. And so I personally am the kind of person that's like, I'm going to keep juggling all of these plates, even though I know I can't anymore, until someone else says I have to stop, because I don't want to make anyone unhappy. And so one of my superstar directors finally said, hey, guess what? I loved the merge, big, huge fan of it, but I'm going to go ahead and take my team and we're going to, I need to go ahead and reconnect with them. I really need to reconnect with them. Something's missing. Something's wrong. Something is just wrong. It looks like everything's good on the surface. Like there's no reason that this should not be right, but something is wrong here. Like there's just something not working. And I was like, thank you for saying that. And because I don't do anything halfway, the next day I blew everything up. And so we kind of tore everything we thought we knew about how we were running things completely apart. And I said, if you could start over, what would it look like? If you could build your dream Scentsy job and your dream Scentsy team and your dream Scentsy group and any of this, what would it look like? Like, how can we redo this to the point where we're not showing up going, this is just really heavy. And I'm showing up to the same drama I showed up to yesterday. And I still, like, my customers like are not responding anymore. I think everyone's tapped out. I'm just over Facebook parties and I'm just so tired of COVID. And I just really want to be back into people's homes. And like all of the things that have been wearing on you all year long. And with my directors personally, because my team and my group is older than the groups of my other superstar directors, they felt overshadowed by all of these new shinier superstar directors and shinier directors that they had scaled back and kind of been like, well, they're shinier than me, so I don't have to shine at all. And so kind of like at the beginning of January, I was like, number one, I like to be sparkly. I like bright colors. I like things that are super vibrant. And in my nature, that's what I like. Whereas I'd been walking around all year in this weird big cloud. And so I was like, okay, how do we bring the fun back? My mouth was almost glued together. Can anyone hear it? Was it making mouth noises? It's freaking me out. Okay, I just didn't want to stop. And so I realized I was walking around in this cloud, and a lot of my energy, I felt like, is what makes my team stay energized. And while they were energized in just selling, because honestly, that's just what was happening. It wasn't because we were collectively doing something good, Scentsy was just poised in the right position. You know, people were home all the time. Their houses smelled bad and they finally realized it. Like we had just, as a company, arrived to a point where everything was pointed at go and we took off. And thankfully, as a team and as an organization, we were in the spot to have taken that and gone. And so in January, when I realized that maybe I wasn't the only person feeling like I had lost my spark in my business and I had lost sight of like what gave me that joy and showing up every day. Like when I realized I hadn't even walked into my office in a week, like not a week, it'd been longer. Like I was like bringing my stuff to the couch. Like I just didn't even want to be in here anymore. I didn't want to like be surrounded by everything anymore because it was overwhelming me. I was like, what happened? Like what went wrong? And so we decided to go ahead at least 1 year from the date that we put everything together. We took all 4 superstar director teams apart. So that all of our directors, they don't have team pages. We're still all merged in that direction, but we went ahead and separated, and we still do things together, but we're separated on Facebook, just so that we could try to build some micro communities again for a little bit so that all of our new teammates could meet us as their superstar director and could kind of start putting a face with like what this community looks like. And honestly, so that we could kind of build our team brands around ourselves, and not in like a weird way, but like just so that I felt like my team had an identity that I connected with. And so in that, I felt like we also need to make sure that our businesses feel connected to us. And so when we were kind of tearing this down on my director call, I was like, what would your, like, we're not stuck. Sometimes we sit here thinking we're stuck somewhere. I was like, we're not stuck. And I'm done being stuck. And I'm done feeling like I've lost control of my business. So I want to know, what's your dream business? And I think that at the end of the day, we all realized that Scentsy's core values are honestly not a joke. The simplicity, the authenticity, and the generosity are truly the foundation for where you start when things don't feel right. It's because you've lost sight of those 3 things. Like something's wrong in those 3 areas if your business feels wrong. Like if your business feels heavy, or it feels messy, or it's not bringing you joy, you don't have something right in one of those areas. You're either not being generous enough, you're not being yourself enough, you are overcomplicating things. And one of the things we overcomplicate more than anything is the business itself. And I told my leaders, I was like, at the end of the day, like, it's okay. I know that we spend all day going, guys, but Scentsy is so much more than Wax and Warmers. I want you for like a week to let it be just Wax and Warmers, and just go smell your testers and fall in love with your catalog, and stop letting it be all of this extra stuff. Stop letting it be all of this weird drama that they were bringing to the table because of all of the, the political heaviness that had been going on, and the whoever had unfriended whoever, and, just all of the weird webs and strings and ultimatums and just the mud that had been created through the year that we had brought into all of our spaces and all of our happy places, and didn't really know what to do with, because all of these connections that we had had before, and all these friendships we had before, and all of these relationships that honestly felt super easy before, started having different facets to them. And they all had different meanings behind them, and they all had different definitions, and everything had a different lens, and everything just changed and shifted away from Scentsy towards a different direction, to where we felt like we were living in this world and we were just trying to drag Scentsy along with it, because we just didn't really have time to make things Scentsy anymore. We had time to do the world stuff and try to just keep this going a little. And so I just told them for a little bit to just honestly make it Wax and Warmers for a bit. make it Wax and Warmers. Like, let it be the testers. Like, and we just sit down and look at your testers and just look at the colors and just like, let the pink be pink. Let the yellow be yellow. Like, let the color be beautiful. Look at the marketing in the catalog. And that's either going to be something that you relate to or it won't. I know as somebody who's very right-brained, for me, like, it's very important for me just to kind of sit and just like experience things visually. And for me, I felt like I hadn't just sat in wonder of Scentsy for a while. I hadn't just sat and like absorbed our products or the fragrances. Like, I think I blocked out like 6 of the Scent of the Months. I remember going through my stock the other day and I was like, when did we even have this smell? I don't even remember it. Somebody like posted a warmer the other day and I was like, what is that? And I was like, I have that. I don't even remember half of this whole year. Like, so much happened. And I was like, we needed to simplify it. And so we just talked a little bit about what would simplifying our businesses look like in a way that made it feel like we owned them again. And we could give back finally because we weren't empty anymore. And I felt like we were all just arriving in 2021 with just nothing left. And we had poured everything out. And a lot of us felt like we had poured everything out into our Scentsy businesses, but honestly, we had poured it out everywhere. You know, our homes were heavy. Half of us were homeschooling children and half of us were, you know, dealing with all of this over here. And there was just so much other things going on, but we were all completely empty in every possible way. And we came somehow surviving into 2021. And so I was like, okay, here's the thing. We can't keep going on empty. It's not doing anything for anybody. It's sure as all goodness not going to make people want to do Scentsy if it doesn't look like any fun. But we need to bring Scentsy back to being our happy place. So we can't be doing the empty cup thing here anymore. So what do we do to where Scentsy is what fills our cup up so that we can go out here and pour it out? Because this shouldn't be where our cup gets empty. So whatever we're doing here that's emptying us is probably the wrong thing to be doing. It probably means that something's not simple enough. It's probably that something's not authentic to us enough. It's probably that we're not giving back enough or we're pulling too much in somehow. Like, we're doing something wrong, something's imbalanced. And so we just broke it down into like, you know, what brought you spark in Scentsy? What were some of those things what are moments in your business that made you go, this is why I do this? And for those of us who've been in Scentsy for 9 to 10 years, you're not supposed to do that in direct sales. So I would say, I'm like, when someone's been in this for a long time, I'm like, well, what was the moment? Like, what made you go, this isn't something I'm going to quit. There's something special about what I do that shifted that from a transient hobby business, like it is for most people, to something I absolutely can't let go of. And don't forget what that was, and pursue that, and remember what that felt like, and remember the things that make you feel that. And so I made them make their smile files and make sure that if they had one, that they pulled it out and made it close to them. And, you know, any awards they won or photos that they had with friends, or even just testers of fragrances that triggered memories for them of events or moments, and just keep it nearby, and just things that made them feel that spark. And I'm like, and the only generosity I need from you right now is to just, once you find that spark for you, just find another person and get them to find that spark in them, and then tell them to find the spark and help them, and tell them to find that in someone else and help them discover it, and just keep passing that along and keep getting those sparks back, because everybody's empty right now and nobody is going to be able to help anyone or inspire anyone or get anyone to want to jump into Scentsy and even discover what Scentsy spirit even means, when all of the people who are supposed to have Scentsy spirit don't even have any of that in them right now, because they've already poured it out everywhere elsewhere back in 2019, brought none of it into 2020 with them, don't even remember what it looks like in 2021. So there's no way that anyone coming into the business now has a clue what that's supposed to look like. And so it starts with a spark at a time, and we have to figure that out. And so I was like, we need to look at what a simple business looks like. And so a lot of them in these last few months, as they skidded into 2021, their PRV just went, and I'm like, it's cool. You're empty. I get it. Like this is fumes. Like I can see the fumes. I get it. It's fine. But a lot of that's because you're still carrying that, like, PRV is like, somehow you have created this like monster of PRV. It's not fun to go sell Scentsy right now. It's not fun to bring someone into this chaos right now. It's not fun to bring people into your now unhappy place anymore. So there's a reason that you're not having fun doing the basics of Scentsy, and that there's a reason you're not doing them. And so we need to make sure that this stays your fun zone, your cup filling up zone, so that you want to bring more people in to fill their cups up and not bring more people in who are just going to drain you. And so we need to make sure that we're keeping it your fun zone. And I was like, how do we make that simple? Like, you need to take bite-sized chunks of your business and make sure that each bite you take of your business is done in a way that feels real to you. It's simple enough to teach someone else. It doesn't drain you of all of your energy, and doesn't force you into being someone's therapist, and doesn't force you into solving World War VII. Like, things have to stay simple. This has to stay your fun place, your happy place. And how do we do that? And so, as dumb as this sounds, they're like, well, I want to be able to have a $2,000 month in a really fun way, and not in like an obligatory, this is just what I do. It's just kind of my job. I don't want to take it for granted. Like, I want to be able to like break it down. Like, I had people that like, they used to have $2,000 months, or they did early on in the year, but like now it's like barely getting their 500 again. And it's like, they're just so empty that they just like, they can't even like think about, they just don't even want to be here right now. And it's not that they hate Scentsy. They just like, it's just gray. Like, there's nothing there. And so just breaking it down to basics. And this isn't even about spark or color or vibrancy, but when you're looking for that spark and that vibrancy, and you're just trying to stay afloat, how do you do a $2,000 month in a way that doesn't make you want to like pass out when you have nothing left? So that you still have space to explore what brings you that joy. And so we just had to remember that like a $2,000 month starts on the first day of the month. It doesn't start on the last week of the month when you're sliding into home and you're worn out and you're exhausted. You know, the month in magic is magic because it's that bonus extra stuff that happened after a month that was done well. So that starts on the first of the month. Well, what does a $2,000 month look like broken down? And we had already done bite-sized business pieces when it came to like promoting to director. What does a bite-sized director promotion look like? Most of you who've been to camp with me, you know what that looks like. You know, a director is made up of 4 star consultants, right? So that seems easy enough. Okay, so I have to get 4 frontline to promote to star consultant and make sure that they all hit their title in that 1 month. That's 10,000 TWV. Cool. That seems manageable and not terrifying. I think I can do that. And so I was like, well, what does a $2,000 month look like when it's manageable and not terrifying? It's 4 $500 weeks. Okay, that still sounds scary to some people. Okay, well, it's 5 $100 weekdays a week. So say you show up to work. And I don't know if you say Scentsy is your full-time job or Scentsy is your part-time job, but I don't know any job that you show up to and get paid to do in sales where selling $100 in a shift should be that hard. And so if you're working your business for, you know, a few hours a day, I think that if you were really focused on it, you could find a way to sell $100. You know, if you really sat down and you're like, okay, I could sell $100 of Scentsy. Like if you like had to get off this call right now and I was like, just go sell $100 in Scentsy. Okay, I can sell 3.5 6-packs. Like I could probably sell 3.5 6-packs. There's no reason I can't sell 3.5 6-packs. And So what does that look like? Like, I could sell 3.5 6-packs. Okay. Well, what if you didn't want to work 5 days a week and you wanted to work 2 or 3? Okay. So you do that 2 times a week instead of 5 or whatever, 2.5. And so, well, maybe you do like a cute bundle. Like there was that rainbow bundle minus the picture of the Skittles because #OOC, let's not worry about it. And you were like, okay, well, let's do like a rainbow bundle. Let me see if my customers want this, right? Number one, I love rainbows. Let's put rainbows on everything because they're pretty and I love color. And so that made me really happy last month. And I was like 100% obsessed with color all month last month. So I was like, I'm going to send my customers this picture of this bar stack that's all rainbows. And I'm going to see if I can get them to maybe get a few friends who want some too. And then if maybe they can bring me 6 or 7 friends, I'll put that in as a party, right? And then they'll get theirs for free. That's a pretty easy party. Like if one of my friends just got like 6 of their friends to buy a rainbow bundle, that's easy. This is manageable. This is bite-sized. This isn't scary. This doesn't feel that overwhelming. Wait, if I just had 5 friends do that, that's not that bad. What's 5 times 200? That's 1,000, right? Wait, that's half of it already. What if I just did that one day? Wait, that was half in a week. Like that's okay. This is bite-sized. And that was rainbows. That was colorful. That was easy. And I think that sometimes we just make things so complicated. And a lot of it, it's just that anticipation of knowing we still have to do it. And we build that up in our minds and we let it get cloudy with so many different things. We let it get cloudy with, other consultant group drama. And we let it get cloudy with, just something we didn't agree with on Scentsy's website or something that, Scentsy posted something or they changed a rule about something or, something's on back order. And we just let all of that distract us from the fact that, hey, I kind of just want to sell 2,000 this month. I bet if I just sold like a rainbow 6-pack or whatever, and I had some of my friends do it, what if sometimes we just let this be Wax and Warmers? Like, what if you just let it be Wax and Warmers and you didn't let any of that extra garbage come into your fun zone because you don't want it here? Because this is your fun place. This isn't your cup emptying place. This is your cup filling place. Like, I want Scentsy to be my cup filling place, and no one gets to let it, like, no one gets to change that. Like, what if we protected our cups instead of letting other people steal stuff out and splash them around, and we're pouring it out when we don't want to, and then we have nothing left to give our customers and we have nothing left to give our leaders because we poured all of it out with this one person over here in this one group who was arguing with us back and forth about some weird Disney post that they saw in this other group, or, the buy-in was this price this one year and the buy-in was this price this other year. And then we fought about it for like 4 hours with this one person. And oh my gosh, my cup is empty again. What if we just said, this is just Wax and Warmers. I'm going to just sell some wax today. And I'm going to let Scentsy just be my cup filling place. And we stopped letting things within the Scentsy community pour our cups out, because once we stop letting things pour our cups out and only let things fill our cups up, other people are going to be like, oh, we just fill cups up here. Okay, well, I'm going to go find ways to fill my cup up. And I'm going to teach other people ways to fill their cup up. And I'm going to help them find ways to get PRV really easily, because nobody should be stressing about PRV. That should be like the easiest thing. I mean, selling Scentsy is like the very basics of what we're supposed to do as Scentsy consultants. Let's just get that down, be done with that. Let's like make it the easiest thing we do. And then everything else is just like on top of that, here's some other fun things you can do. And so I was like, well, how do you just break this down into like, what are the funnest things you could do? What's the funnest way that you could have extra PRV? And like, when you do things in bundles like that, I feel like all month long or all year long or our entire business long, we're always like, how do we meet new people? Oh my gosh, I can never meet new people. And our new recruits and our new teammates are always like, I can't meet new people and my friends and family don't want anything. I literally asked 3 people. Okay, I asked more than that, but this is just to prove that it doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been with Scentsy. Some people still ignore you and sometimes things don't work. So I like to measure success by my own made up metrics because I refuse to fail at anything. And so even if I had a goal and I don't hit that goal, I'm like, well, that's cool because maybe my goal wasn't that. And we're just going to look at it like this. This is what really happened. I think that's great. And so I wanted to get, obviously, a bunch of customers who had really great success in getting 6 customers or 7 to get 6 packs of wax. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to have like $1,200,000 parties to go in. Okay. So I had a bunch of them try, bless their hearts. And none of them got all 6. That's fine. It's cool. It's cool. I've been around long enough. I can swing this. I am like, we're really good at pitching and spinning. After a certain level in Scentsy, you just get so good at just making everything awesome. And so nobody gets to come back to me feeling like they failed at anything. So I don't care. I don't care if you brought me 1 back. We're celebrating you did anything at all because you did my job. So you're getting something because you did my job. And the coolest thing is I didn't get a whole lot out of that. I mean, it was a $500 party. That is absolutely a success. And it was just rainbow bundles that I decided last minute to do just for some extra PRV because I really why not? Bummer, more PRV. Okay, let's try. And so I put them all in as one party because I didn't have enough to separate all of them separately. But each person, because I put that into one, got a half off item. Every person that participated still got their rainbow bundle for half off, even though they didn't even bring me half of the 6 or 7 that they needed. So that was really cool. And they thought that was just awesome. They couldn't believe they still got anything because they failed. I was like, you didn't fail? You didn't fail at all. Like, do you want yours for half off? Like, you didn't fail. And they're like, are you serious right now? And I was like, yeah, you worked your butt off to try to sell rainbow bundles. You definitely get something for that because you're freaking awesome. I was like, would you like one of them for half off? And they're like, definitely yes. So they got theirs for half off. Everyone is happy. But the coolest thing is, I think 3 of them had hosted parties for me before. And there were still 10 people that ordered a rainbow bundle that have never, ever bought from me before. And so the fact that like these people had been my customers for probably all of the time I've been a consultant and have had parties for me, how in the world did they still have 10 people that had never bought Scentsy from me before? Like, how did we not make that connection? It's because those people hate parties. Those people don't want to be invited to a Scentsy party. They don't want to be put into a stupid group for a Scentsy Facebook party. But you know what? If you post a rainbow bundle on your wall and just say, hey, who wants one? They're going to say, sure, I'll take one, because you didn't invite them to a Facebook party. You didn't dump them into a group. And so it was really cool that I was able to find 10 new customers from the same pool of friends that I feel like I've tried before, because they were able to post one bundle. Nobody had to think about anything. And it was just really nice having 10 new customers. They're all local. And now I get to spoil them rotten because even though they're local, I still ask them for all their information because I always tell them I can't place orders because Scentsy won't let me put orders in without full contact info. It just doesn't work. Like they literally won't let me press next if I don't get your email and your address and your phone number. I'm so sorry. It's so weird. And so I get all their contact info. Hey, don't judge me. I want all their contact info because I'm going to send you stuff. Like I'm going to send you the prettiest mail and tons of confetti and you're going to hate me, but you're going to remember me. And so you're mine now. We're best friends. I'm going to keep all 10 of you. And so it was just so nice that like something I decided to try that could have been a failure brought me 10 new customers out of a network that I thought I had completely tapped out. And so that gives me a spark. Like that was exciting. For me, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just a 6-pack of wax and I got 10 new customers. Like celebrate those things, like learn to celebrate that stuff again. Like we feel like we can only celebrate incentive trips and we can only celebrate annual sales and we can only celebrate huge, like $5,000 PRV months or promotions. Like I have been celebrating those 10 customers for a week and they don't even know it. Like they don't even know how excited I was to get those 10 customers. And we just have to keep bringing things back to just the spark and the fun and the confetti that we throw in envelopes and just focus on the things in our business that make us smile and bring that spark and that joy, and to cut all the stuff out that doesn't. Because if we allow ourselves the space to just have fun, we inspire the people around us and the people on our teams, if you have a team, to do the same thing. And that's what leadership is. Leadership isn't management. It's not bossing people around and telling them how they have to behave and asking them at the end of the month if they have anything else going in because you really hope they hit their numbers. It's literally doing something that makes them go, I think I want to do that too. I think that's what I want. And giving them permission to be themselves, to simplify things and to cut the crap out of their lives, and to maybe live a life that's generous and giving towards other people, and to have a little fun. And I think that's all I really want to do with my life, is to encourage people to give back and to cut the crap out of their lives and to be themselves and to have a lot of fun. And if I'm not doing that in my business, then what am I actually doing aside from total crap? So stop doing total crap and go have fun again. And if you're doing something and it's not fun, could you please stop doing it? Because other people are going to watch you doing this really unfun stuff, and you're not fooling anyone. They know when you're not having fun. And then they're going to be like, well, if she's not having fun doing Scentsy, why am I even doing this? If she's not even having fun and she's like the Scentsy queen and she's not even having fun doing it, why would I even want to do this anymore? Or why would I want to join her team? Like, no. So go have fun again. Cut the crap. Keep it simple. It's okay to make it just wax and warmers sometimes. It's okay to celebrate a new customer. It's okay just to sit in the closet and smell your testers for 3 hours just to find your happy again, because someone is trying to take it from you and they're not allowed to. And you just honey badger your testers and you just don't let them. And you tell them that you're turning your notifications off and you're hiding and you're going to smell testers until they stop it. And they're going to think you're weird. And that might work well enough to make them stop. There you go.
I love it. And you know what's let me tell you what's cool though, is because you're speaking to everybody, whether it's on a small level, a big level, everybody is feeling exactly what you said, with feeling like, okay, last year when the pandemic started, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, we're locked in our houses. Let's all sit on house party for hours on end and talk to each other. And oh my gosh, like, when are we going to be let out? And by now, the honeymoon phase with the pandemic is well over. Like, we are so past it. And so I think here's what's cool though, is that you're hearing from somebody else that is top of the company, that is saying it's okay to feel like this sometimes, so long as you don't stay there. So long as you find what it is that brings you back. And that is really important, because a lot of times you can be in a group or an audience that tells you you have to be on at all times. You have to be on for everybody at all times. And you can't not have fun doing it. You can't not want to do XYZ, because everybody around you is expecting you to be on at all times. And so I think that you being I would call this chat tonight just very raw and very real. And I know that some of the things, if not all of the things that Christina said, or even maybe just a little spot or a little bit of what she said, hit home with many of us. And at the end of the day, it's really true that when you lose sight, and this goes not just for Scentsy, but it goes for things all across the board in our lives. When you find yourself in a rut about something, you have to check in and get back to why you're doing it or why you started doing it in the first place. And most of the time it's because we overcomplicate and over emotionalize. And if that isn't a word, I'm going to make it be one because it fits really good.
We do be doing that.
We have to strip that away. Yeah. Strip that away. And so I appreciate your rawness and your realness. and saying sometimes when we do we stop putting pressure on ourselves to be the best and the biggest and comparing ourselves to every other consultant and all of the wonderful things that all of these other consultants are doing. And we strip back and we literally just do the things we enjoy doing. Because like Lisa Godfrey said in the chat, sometimes my best PRV or my best months come from when I'm the calmest. When I'm the most relaxed and I'm not putting as much pressure on myself, things flow a little bit more naturally. And, you know, I think about the easiest way to give you an analogy with this and what Lisa said to confirm and back up what Christina said is think about how quickly and how easily and how relaxed you are when you recommend a restaurant, takeout, carry out movie to anybody in your life, how calm and carefree you are about, because if they like it or they don't, what do you care? It's not your restaurant. It's not your movie. It's not your carry out, right? But we're cool, calm, and collected. And we will go on and on and on about why we love this product or this food or whatever. When we are able to get ourselves to have that exact same demeanor with our own businesses, we will find that it comes a lot easier and it's a lot more comfortable. We get in our heads too much. We get in our heads too much that we're like, I don't want to bother that person. I don't want to pressure that person. I don't want them to tell me no. I don't want them. But we have no problem recommending somebody else's business to people. So we just have to check in and again, find the fun. And I think coming off of a year of crazy and those, you know, coming into 2021 and many people saying 2021 is just 2020 with a bra on. It is just, you know, we're kind of skidding hopefully out of what has become a very, very long period of time without a lot of social interaction or closeness or hugging, which is what we all do. A lot of us do really well. Christina, thank you.
You're welcome.
You. And if
it's not what I had written down, but we're good. I told you it wasn't going to go where I was trying to go.
That's okay.
I told you all up front. This isn't.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You spoke with what's on your mind and your heart, and that's always the most authentic, right? And you know that in any group of Scentsy consultants or life in general, you will have at least one other woman that can relate to you on some level, always. So I appreciate you sharing your mind and your heart with us. And you guys, thank you for spending Tuesday with us. We appreciate you.
Best. You're also cute.
Oh,
thanks for being here. I love seeing all these faces because I miss them, and we should be with them in person right now, which is just kind of a little better. It's right now, right?
Like, the amount of texts that I have gotten saying I'm in a camp hangover depression because we're not at camp. A little bit problematic.
Maybe that's why I'm like on my like, you guys are not my first pancake. Where I'm just, there we go.
You should be at camp. And so camp is booked for next year already. And so those of you that are returning campers, we hope that you'll join us. And then there's got to be room for some new campers and new faces that are like, what the heck are you even talking about? We don't even know what camp is. And it's the best. So
I think it changes my life every time.
It is. That's because you get to share a room with me. That's why.
That's like, that's how I knew I arrived in the world. When my hero of heroes was sleeping in the same room as me.
Snoring, drooling.
Now you know she's
lying. Honestly, camp is how I learned to sleep with people who snore. My team thanks you.
Don't even start.
Shut up. Was I really snoring?
Everybody snores. I think everyone honestly does. Aaron does.
Thank you.
Aaron does.
Shelly was. I don't think you did. Yours was like a quiet, like just breathing. You know, some people just like breathe, like not snoring. Like it doesn't go all the way back, but it like comes out. Does that make sense? Like it's not like a back nosy thing, but it's like a breathe outy thing.
I sleep standing up with my eyes open.
I'm a snore connoisseur because they keep me awake. I evaluate them. I know my snores.
Creepy. On that note,
I'm
watching you.
On that.
You guys, thank you for spending Tuesday with us. Christina, thank you so much.
Of course.
See you guys on Thursday or next Tuesday, whichever you join us on.
Friday.
Bye, guys.